Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. The Natural is a 1984 sports film based on Bernard Malamud's 1952 novel that bears the same name. The film is directed by Barry Levinson, and it stars Robert Redford, Glenn Close, Robert Duvall, and Kim Basinger. The storyline of the movie goes that Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford, has dreamed of being a great baseball player since his boyhood. His bat is made from a tree that was split by lightning on his childhood farm. But on his way to try out for Chicago, Roy is inexplicably shot by a crazy woman and disabled from playing the game that he loved. For 16 agonizing years, he languishes out of the spotlight. Then finally, he is picked up by the New York Knights in the late 1930s. His golden bat knocks run after run in, redeeming himself and his losing team. All of this while struggling through the business and gambling interests that affect the game of baseball. The filmmakers scouted the country for a stadium that they could use for the game scenes. They needed something that was nondescript with a pre-World War II feel, and they found it in Buffalo's War Memorial Stadium. That stadium was built in 1937 and was demolished in 1988. The act of Hobbs breaking the scoreboard clock with a home run was inspired by Bama Rowell of the Boston Braves doubling off the Ebbets Field scoreboard clock on May 30th, 1946. In doing so, it showered Dixie Walker with glass. Though he had been promised a free watch from Bulova for hitting the company's scoreboard sign, he had to wait until 1987 to finally receive it. The bat that the Bat Boy Bobby Savoy gives Roy is called the Savoy Special. The Savoy Special was a brand of beer in the 1930s. This bat is now in the collection at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York. It's displayed along with Roy Hobbs' jacket in an exhibit that's entitled Baseball and the Movies. While the movie owes a lot to Malamud's book, the film takes many liberties with it. Characters are changed, combined, and created. Most of the best lines in the movie come from the book, though, but they're often spoken by different characters. Roy is a very different character in the novel. He's less virtuous, and the novel is much darker and more cynical about its subject matter than the film. Although many fans prefer the film version over the novel and is considered the rare film that improves upon its source material, but others tend to hate the fact that Hollywood used its treatment formulas to betray the original novel's intentions. The patches that you see on the left arm of the Knights' uniforms are special patches that commemorate the centennial of baseball, which was celebrated in 1939. This confirms the Knights' season to be the 1939 playing season. Although the big league baseball players at the turn of the 20th century sported long hair, handlebar mustaches, and pork chop sideburns, all that had changed by the time this story came around. The strict code of the day from the commissioner of baseball required a player to have a clean-shaven face. This continued up until the early 1970s and included everyone. Yet in the movie, the manager, Pop Fisher, played by Wilford Brimley, and the coach, Red Blow, played by Richard Farnsworth, both sport thick, walrus-looking mustaches. When Roy Hobbs first joins the Knights in mid-season, the equipment manager declines to give him a uniform that has the number 11 on it. He states that that number is bad luck, and Hobbs ends up with the number 9. There is no specific curse or jinx that baseball recognizes about the number 11, but a 16th century scholar said that the number 11 has no connection with divine things, no ladder that was reaching up to things above. Rather, he concluded that the number 11 was stuck between the divine numbers of 10 and 12, and therefore 11 was pure evil and represented sinners. Now, the scene with Glenn Close and her initial appearance at the ballpark was very carefully planned, and it took quite a bit of planning to get this shot pulled off. They wanted her appearance to be that of a guardian angel, and it comes across that way. They waited for a very clear day when the setting sun would just be at the right spot in the background to shine through her translucent hat, making it appear as though it was a halo around her head. This shot was such an important part of the movie that Glenn Close gives it credit for her getting the nomination for Best Supporting Actor. She didn't feel like she really deserved it. She thought that the cinematographer that created this scene was the one that should get all the credit. This movie was really one of the things that catapulted her career. She had been in a few films before this, but this one shot her to the top of Hollywood actors. But after her success, she revealed details about the trauma that she experienced as a child when her family was members of a controversial religious cult. At least that's the way she views it. They were members of a group called the Moral Rearmament Movement, and she referred to this experience as a cult that left scars on her that she still deals with today. She had plenty of failed marriages, and she blames it all on her experiences in childhood. She said that she couldn't form relationships at all because of the emotional and psychological effects of this so-called cult. Nowadays, she finds support spending a lot of time with her family while she lives in Montana. If you've never seen this great Robert Redford film, you need to do yourself a favor and watch it. It's a good one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.